Welcome to Kevin Dale Photography, where I take you on my journey through photography. On today's episode, we're going to be doing an in-depth review of the PGYTECH Camera Strap Pro and Camera Strap Master. I'm pleased to announce the release of my Capture One and Lightroom presets, Metamorphic Portraits, The Sound of Silver, and Rangefinder. These are all available for purchase at my website. Go to kevindalephotography.com or check out a link in the description below. And now, on to today's episode. Welcome to today's episode. If you're not familiar with Kevin Dale Photography, we do gear reviews, tips, techniques, and tutorials, and sometimes we dive into film. If any of that sounds appealing to you, click the subscribe button below. For all of you who are back to Kevin Dale Photography, welcome back. And for all of you where this is your first time on my channel, at the beginning of every episode, I ask for donations to BIG, which is an organization that helps intellectually disabled adults adapt to jobs in the real world. I also want to thank all of you who donate to my Super Thanks link. With those donations, I buy more gear, which I then review on this channel and hopefully help you all with your buying decisions. But to the subject of today's episode. In this episode, we're going to do things a little differently. Normally, I review a single product, but today you're getting twice the fun. We'll be looking at two products, the PGYTECH Camera Strap Pro and the Camera Strap Master. While these straps have their differences, which we'll highlight, they're similar enough that it makes more sense to compare them side by side rather than do separate episodes. If you're considering one, it's probably helpful to see how one stacks up against the other, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Both straps come in the same two colors, Midnight Black and Wilderness Green. I specifically asked PGYTECH to send me the Pro in black and the Master in green so I could give you my thoughts on the color differences as well. I've used sling style straps before, but I found they often twist and had awkward connection points at the bottom of my cameras. The ones I tried also lacked a quick release mechanism. Both of these PGYTECH straps feature a quick release mechanism, which immediately got my attention and made me want to test them out. They also boast several other promising features on paper, but of course, we'll see how they hold up in real-world use, which is what this channel is all about. We'll cover how comfortable, practical, and functional both straps are. So let's leave my YouTube studio and head to my photography studio, and I'll walk you through the basics of how both the Pro and Master straps work. Okay, so I want to show you the functionality of this strap, this Pro strap. First and foremost, something that I want to get off the bat is you can see right here on the bottom that you got these two ball heads. Everything connects on the bottom, and that's pretty cool because I actually have my Peak Designs connector for my wrist strap right here, and then I sometimes use this other loop in order to protect my motherboard and all that when I shoot tethered with my Tether Tools 10G cables. I actually want to keep those installed on these guys, and I like the fact that on this PGYTECH it installs on the bottom. It means that you don't have to uninstall your Peak Designs or any of your other protocols in order to use this guy. Now, another thing I like about this guy is the fact that there are two ball heads on it. If there's one ball head on it, I feel like it would swivel more, but with two, you're gonna have a little bit more stability. So let me show you how this installs. You've got this piece right here, and you just take these balls, put them in, and they both click, okay? Now you know your camera is secure. Now I can go through and put this on my shoulder. Now, the thing you need to keep in mind is there's this little line right here. That's the side that needs to go out, and this side with the padding and the air and all that, that needs to go on the shoulder. Now, as you can see right here, you can't really get this on with this strap. All you have to do is disconnect it from the front side and leave it strapped to the back side, and I'll show you why here in a minute. It just makes it super simple. Put this over your shoulder. And now that it's over your shoulder, you can grab this extra support here, and then you look for this little line right here, and you just push them till he snaps. And then you can tighten it right here. You've got really good support. Now, you can see that the camera is moving. You can move it up and down, but if you're walking and you don't want the camera moving like this while you run or you're moving fast, you can actually stabilize it. You take this guy right here and click it with your thumb. Now it doesn't really move at all. It stays stable, which is great. And then when you're ready, maybe you want to pull the camera up to your eye because it's not quite long enough. There's a larger release right here. This little thumb release right here. When you click it, you hear that click. Now it starts moving again. So this side part, it clicks, this doesn't move. This bigger one, you click it, it releases that lock and it moves around. And that's really how this guy works. There's not a lot to it. You also have this little D-ring right here. So maybe if you want to have an extra lens hanging off, or maybe you have an SD card reader, or just some sort of a holder that holds all your filters, whatever you want to put in there, you can do that. It's only on the front side. It's not on the back side. I currently have an XH2 on here, which isn't that heavy of a camera, but I do have the Viltrox 75mm 1.2, which is a heavy lens. Something that I do is when I'm finished, I will only detach this front part right here. I don't necessarily detach both sides of this because I don't want to lose this piece. So I just pull this up, take it off, put it away, and I'm good to go. Okay, so I showed you how the Camera Strap Pro works. Now let me show you how the Camera Strap Master works. So if you're gonna call something master, it better deliver, right? So to put this guy on, I find it a little easier than the Pro because I feel like it's easier to hone in on which side is the front, and it's obvious which shoulder goes on which. So there is this center chest strap right here. Obviously, you have 2 times the straps on the side. So that means that you have twice the amount of cameras you can put on, right? So most of you who are considering a 2-strap version are probably event photographers. You shoot weddings, you shoot graduations. I personally only shoot graduations and weddings 2 to 3 times a year. Now, I am gonna simulate a wedding. I've got a Canon R5 Mark II with a 28-70 on it, and these little ball ends, you put 2 of them in there, just like you do on the Pro. So we'll go ahead and put these in, just like so, and then they click. So I have an R5 here, and I know a lot of you shoot on 70 to 200s, but I shoot on a 135, 1.8, so 28-70, 135, 1.8. And I like how the design of this keeps the cameras on the outside of your hips. They're not moving around and banging into each other, because when they sway and bang into each other or try to bang into each other, you can feel tightness on these straps in the back. So the design of this naturally keeps the cameras away from one another, which is great. Then of course, just like on the Pro, you do have the ability to lock this so it doesn't slide, and unlock it so it can slide. And the reason of course you want it to slide is maybe you want to bring the camera up to your eye and then lock it when you're finished. And you just push this until you hear the click. Now it's not gonna slide up and down the nylon. So as far as weight distribution, most of the weight is still gonna be right here, but obviously it's more evenly distributed than just having one sling on the side. I am getting some weight on the back. One thing that does stand out about the Master is there's another bonus that you don't get on the Pro, which is you actually have these extra 2 places to connect. You'll notice that the D-rings aren't on this guy because they made it more sophisticated. So you can actually take these ball ends off, and then you can connect them to something like a lens pouch, something to hold an extra lens. And so I could connect this here. Now I've got a place to keep a lens, and the lens is still high enough to where this is staying out of the way of the camera. So you could have 2 lenses up here, 2 cameras right here, you'd be rocking and rolling. And you can also take these off, and you could put these ball ends on another camera. So you could have like a third camera right here, something small like an X100 or something like that. But you could nerd out, you could completely look like a dork and have a 3-camera setup. But for all of you dual wielders out there, I would say this is pretty rad. So let's go back to my studio. We'll talk about what I liked and didn't like about both the Camera Strap Pro and the Camera Strap Master. I've had time to work with both the PGYTECH Camera Strap Pro and Camera Strap Master, and I'm ready to share what I like and what I don't about each. While I appreciate PGYTECH sending me both for evaluation, as with all of my reviews, this is going to be completely independent and my thoughts are going to be my own. They're not going to hear my thoughts until all of you do right now. Normally, I'd go over the cons first and the pros second, but since I'm comparing two products, I'm going to mix things up. One may have a feature that's a pro, while the other's lack of it could be a con. Let's start with where the Camera Strap Pro could be improved. It's not the kind of product you can put on through muscle memory alone. I often found myself fumbling with it while talking to the camera during the recording of this episode, unsure of which side was the front or back as it slid along my shoulder. You really have to look down to put it on. To be fair, this is true of most single sling camera straps, so it's not unique, but it's still not a strap you want to be fiddling with in a dark environment. Speaking of the dark, my biggest letdown with the Pro is the chest strap. You connect and disconnect this every single time you use it, yet it lacks the stringed grip that comes with the Camera Strap Master. Or so I thought. I did a little more digging and I found this string buried in my accessories. There were no instructions telling me to attach it, or maybe I just overlooked that. However, the Master shipped with that string attached to the chest strap, and the Pro did not ship with that tiny little string attached to the chest strap. It's actually pretty useful for muscle memory and taking this off and putting it on in the dark. So if you're listening PGYTECH, my recommendation is definitely start shipping these with the little string attached, because people might buy it, not know what it is, may end up throwing away that little string, and may not end up knowing that string's usefulness until it's too late. Another improvement I'd like to see on both models is reflective material built into the straps. For photojournalists or anyone in busy, low-light environments, safety matters. Even if you're just doing portraits at dawn or dusk, having reflective elements could help drivers spot you. I've seen this feature on nomadic slings, so it's not unprecedented, and it would be welcome here. On the Pro, I do like that PGYTECH added a D-ring for clip-on accessories. I'd likely use it to carry an extra lens. While I initially struggled to get the Pro on, once it's in place, the balance is excellent, just like its bigger Master sibling. Both straps are comfortable, distribute weight well, and stay put on your shoulder and torso with minimal slipping. The locking-unlocking mechanism for sliding the camera along the strap is intuitive yet precise, giving you great control over your rig's balance and giving you the flexibility to put your camera's viewfinder up to your eye when you need it. Both straps are impressively sturdy. The plate that connects the camera to the strap feels rock solid, and I trust either strap with a 5-figure rig or two. They're rated for far more weight than you'd realistically want to carry, and the materials are robust enough that I don't foresee long-term wear issues. The breathable holes in both straps are another plus, especially for those working in hot conditions. I live in Texas and shoot outdoors. The added ventilation is a small detail that makes a big difference for shooters such as myself. On the Master, I love the sophisticated center straps. They're perfect for a third camera or extra lens pouches. If you're someone who wants to wield 3 cameras, the Master gives you a way to do that. Another feature I appreciate on both is the bottom-mounted plate system. It lets you quickly detach your camera to use on a tripod, then reattach it to the strap without any unscrewing. Because it mounts to the bottom, you can maintain your favorite wrist strap setup, whether you use PGYTECH system, a third-party brand, or even a cable stopper like I use with tether tools in the studio. Both straps also use a dual ball head for camera stabilization. This reduces sway and adds a second layer of security in the unlikely event that one of the points fails. Finally, the value here is excellent. At $70 US for the Pro and $120 US for the Master, they're priced well below many competitors, especially for a product worthy of securely carrying $10,000 to $20,000 worth of gear. Comparable straps often run for around $100 for a single and $200 for double configurations. PGYTECH introduces these products into the market at a price point where I can declare both to be an incredible value. I'll leave links in the description of this video where you can pick either of these up. That does it for today's episode. Are you going to try out the PGYTECH Camera Strap Pro or Camera Strap Master? Tell me about it in the comments below. Do you prefer a different type of camera strap? Tell everybody about that in the comments below. And if you're a fan of this channel, I humbly ask you to click the subscribe button below. And until next time, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.